You notice I call you that every time I see you, yeah?
Good morning, Valentine. How are you?
Good morning, very well. Tosin, over to you.
Good morning. Stock market closed yesterday down by 0.12% to finish at 40,763.93 points. The market cap was down by 0.12% to close at 14.72 trillion naira. Yesterday, the market is up by 6.59%. We have 19 gainers and 24 losers. Len Africa PLC was the top gainer. It was up by 9.17% to close at 1.31 naira 31 kobo. Continental Reinsurance was the top loser. It was down by 8.14% to close at 30 naira 30 kobo. The forex parallel market rate closed at 363 naira per dollar. Bunmi, give us a market recap on the morning market.
Just hold that thought for a second, guys. You can be part of this show. Just send a message to WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 0809-444-0981. That's 0809-444-0981. The hashtag on Twitter, BusinessExpress981. And as well, we're streaming live on YouTube. It's Smooth 91 FM Lagos.
Okay. So in the markets, we're beginning to see a convergence between the fiscal and monetary authorities, particularly with the CBN changing their stance from a tightening position to a more of an easing one. We've seen that based on the new levels of liquidity in the money markets that they feel comfortable to leave. We've seen rates liquidity open at 476 billion at the start of last week and close at the same levels at the end of the week. Liquidity came up to about 900 billion on Thursday, but CBN only took out 400 billion, leaving liquidity at the same levels at the start of the week, which gives us an impression that they are comfortable with the volume of liquidity currently being retained in the system. OBB and overnight rates traded sub 5, which is an all-time low, and it has been that way for a couple of weeks now, which gives credence to the fact that we're in a more expansionary regime than contractory as it was before. You know, we believe this trend will continue because about 226 billion is maturing into the system this week, as well as a possible 300 billion from FAC. Okay. For the securities markets, we saw a renewed buying interest in the bond market. We saw, as a consequence of this, yields dropped by about 30 to 100 basis points, majorly from on the 2019s, 2020s, and the 2021s. Yeah, this was as a result of renewed interest from foreign portfolio investors, as a result of a rally in the crude oil futures, which are currently at a high of about $74 to a barrel. Yes. Another reason for the renewed interest in the bonds market is because CBN has currently set a trend of reducing the marginal rates at the OMO auction. Last week's marginal rate dropped by about 200 basis points, which is forcing people to now look for higher yields in longer maturities. We saw the bulls continue in the treasury bills market as well. Basically because yields are dipping in that market as well. The stock rates for the last bi-weekly auction, that's the NTB auction, down by about 100 basis points as well. So most people are scrambling for whatever yields they can find in the secondary market, which is pushing rates downwards as well. Lastly, there's a bond auction this week, so on Wednesday. Okay. About 105 billion is on offer.
Fantastic. You've been speaking about a renewed interest in the bond market. So did you hear that JP Morgan is thinking about putting Nigeria back, readmitting Nigerians' bonds back in the index? But before we get to that, let's quickly touch on the results. Yesterday we spoke about the Q1 results from the banks, and now we're also seeing that of Lafarge. Bunmi, what is jumping out at you on this result?
Dolapo.
Dolapo.
He's the expert on them.
Dolapo, look at this result. Something is jumping. I can see. So what can you see?
First of all, revenue was flat, and that's because they didn't sell as much cement as the corresponding period, and the cost also jumped up. That's basically a mix of energy cost and raw materials, because one of the major costs for any cement plant is the energy cost. So Lafarge has a combination. I mean, most cement plants are fired by LPFO, which is low profile oil, gas, coal, and sometimes biofuel. So to a large extent, they've got the cost, the energy cost locked down. But I think the major issue with their cost was raw materials, their variable cost. So that affected the bottom line also. So at the end of the day, Lafarge made a loss after tax of 2 billion for Q1 2018. Yeah. So they have to, and they're also highly leveraged, so the finance cost is also high.
No, but this finance cost is crazy high.
It's really crazy.
Like literally, look at it. it is 9.2% in Q1, and it was 3.9. Sorry, I said 9.2%, 9.2 billion in Q1 2018, and in 2017, in the same period, it was 3.9 billion.
Yeah.
So literally, we can see a difference of 5.2 billion. If that had not happened, they would have posted a profit.
Yes,
it's significant.
But they also had a rights issue earlier on, which was supposed to help them to deliver their balance sheets, their books. Well, it's still obvious that they still have some issues concerning indebtedness to their parent company, and maybe even banks also.
So interesting. So will you buy the Lafarge stock?
I think as we go into the year, things will gradually start to turn around in Lafarge, in the finances, but I'll still prefer a Dangote cement over a Lafarge.
All right, so we can see for Courteville's business model, it says time is running out. Interestingly, Courteville was the very first ICT company to be listed in Nigerian Stock Exchange. Like it's like they had the first movers advantage, but we can see that it's like they're tapering down. Like what exactly is happening in that space? Yeah,
Courteville Business Solutions basically offers advisory and e-business solutions to companies. They have this auto-reg thing that people do. So I'm wondering why a company that is focused on e-business solutions in an environment where e-business is the way forward is still struggling. So as of yesterday, the stock was about 20 kobo per share. So the entire market cap of the stock is about 710 million naira, which is very low. And I have a feeling that if the care is not taken, if it goes further down, there could be a takeover in the company. But I think that the management have to sit down and reinvent their business. It's obviously not working. The business model is faulty. I'm wondering why when they have so many, for example, they have a web hosting platform where they have an online shopping platform, Egoli, and they're still struggling. I mean, these days of Alibaba, Amazon, I'm wondering why they can't really make any traction.
Look at their operation cost, 606 million, out of them making just a revenue of 1.1 billion. So clearly, the operation that's a huge problem in terms of efficiency. Alrighty, so we off with Courteville. Pension. I was looking at this pension document, and it reveals that a total of 7.8 million people in Nigeria make pension contribution. That seems like a lot.
Compared to our population, it's not a lot.
No, not even compared to our population. Compared to the people that are employed, 69 million people are employed in Nigeria, and only 1% are contributing to
that's
pension.
Just a fraction.
Is this not a red flag? Because what is that telling us? That when these people turn 60, they might not have a backup plan.
Most likely, they won't have a backup plan, basically. So I think it's something the regulator, PenCom, has to look into, try and get more companies to, because it's a law. Companies need to pay pension, make provision for pensions for their staff members. So it's something they need to look into.
Okay.
I think the story is also highlighting a crucial fact. PFAs are usually risk adverse, understandably so. They invest about 70% of their portfolio in securities, right? And 53% of that goes to bonds, and about 15% goes to treasury bills. The best PFA we read that had returns of about 22%. The next 8, the average return is about 16. And if inflation was an average of about 15% last year, it means that the value of our pension fund is being eroded. So the trick is to find other investment portfolios that might be a little bit more riskier, but will give more returns to the investors. Not investors, people.
To the people who contribute.
Exactly. And I think PenCom has already taken note of that. They've tried to modify the structure. Exactly. So now you're going to be given a choice as to what there are about 4 funds now. Yes. It hasn't started yet, but there are about 4 funds now. So you can switch funds. I think there's a fund for people under 50. Yeah. There's one for people at 50 and below. Mm-hmm. So you can write to them and ask to switch between funds. I think once every year at no cost. But if you do it more than once, you then pay a penalty.
Yeah, I totally understand. So now, are you saying that if the pension fund could be a bit more attractive, we'll see more contributors?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with the yields, because most people contributing might not even know what their funds are being invested in. They just know that money is taken from their account every month. It's the more savvy ones that would be able to critique this you know, and now they're given an opportunity to actively be involved in how their pension funds are managed. So I think this is a good.
Dolapo, do you know the return your pension fund gives you?
I have an idea because I have a very good pension fund and they give me monthly statement, quarterly statement, and I have an idea of how much returns is on my portfolio.
So do you have an idea?
Honestly, no.
Well, Daniel wants to have an idea. Daniel sent in a message on WhatsApp. He says, what's the pension fund administrator with the best return?
This is
The report is in
they're published by
Business Day.
Pencom.
Yeah,
You understand? And on a daily basis or a weekly basis, you can check your newspapers and they indicate the returns on each fund.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a list there. So something you can always check out. Even if you go to the website of Pencom or check the papers, you always see it.
It was in Business Days about last month.
Okay. Another question here from Damilola. So I'd like to know the analyst expects an OMO this week and your expectations of the bond auction. Bullish? Very bullish.
Repeat that question. I didn't get it.
Would like to know if you expect an OMO this week and your expectations of the bond auction.
Okay, because of the current high levels of liquidity in the money market, I expect that people will go bullish in the bond auction because they are looking for higher returns.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
So I believe that it should be fully subscribed.
Okay.
Okay.
So one last thing, another issue with the pensions is not really we need more products. You understand? Because to a large extent, like she said, they just pack most of the funds into government security. So we need more products, and the government also has to allow the private sector to also access money from the pension fund.
But then I know a lot of people. This conversation is so heated. Every time people keep saying, "Oh, we need more product. The pension fund could be also." But I mean, I think they're just really playing to safety, putting 70% of it in fixed income, so that when you turn 60, they've preserved. They wouldn't be telling you stories.
There has to be a balance between risk and reward. As in, if you're trying to play safe, but then at the end of the when I retire at 60, my pension has been totally eroded by inflation, then what's the essence?
All right. Okay. Well, hopefully the multi-fund scheme, which is going to be launched in June 2018, hopefully to address all of this inefficiency.
So a very quick one. Fumi sends in a message here on WhatsApp. Says Custodian actually gives the highest return while Stanbic is the fourth. My question: could the lady please explain again the fund to be proposed?
Okay. So there are about four. The first one is an optional fund. It allows you to invest about 75% maximum in a variable asset, which could be shares, it could be mutual funds, it could be real estate, it could be infrastructure, and a minimum of 20%. The second fund, which is the fund that by default people below 50 will go to, is allowed to invest about 55% in variable assets and a minimum of 20. The third, 20% in variable assets, a maximum of 20% in variable assets and a minimum of 5. This is the fund that 50 and above will go to. And then those that are already in retirement, 10% will go to variable and 0% minimum. So they'll be able to switch within these funds.
All right, great. I hope everybody has enjoyed the new information on pension. I'm looking forward to when that comes out. So hopefully in June, I'll definitely be writing a letter to Pencom telling them, guys, please move me on to the other one with the 75% in other money markets and other options that is not just fixed income. Yeah. So Dolapo?
A last question though before you sign off. Tony Ebala says, is it possible for an employee who relocated abroad to continue pension remittance?
Absolutely,
yes.
You can continue. Yes, it is. Just transfer your money to the pension account.
All right, that is good to know.
Yeah. So
plug out, guys.
Any other take for today? Are you expecting? What do you think is going to happen with MTN? Are you gonna?
Yeah, I mean, we're waiting for MTN. So and they also announced that in addition to Chapel Hill Denham, they're adding three more financial joint issuers. That's Rand Merchant Bank, Rencap, and Vertiva as joint issuers.
All right, cool stuff. All right, so that's it for today. It was nice listening to you all.
Thank you very much, Tosin. Thank you, Umi, and thank you, Dolapo. Thanks for coming. All right. Next is Muyiwa Falabi with Frankly Speaking Lagos. Right after that at 7:30, Freshly Pressed with Folu, myself, and the analysts. Good morning, Lagos.
Business Express.